producers are getting their beats stolen on Beatstars and then resold, right? And like, I didn't realize it was happening.
You mad, bro? You mad? I haven't seen.
No, I'm tired, bro. This is a stupid every single day.
I think like a lot of them are actually buying licenses, so they again, it comes down to what you just explained. That kind of entitlement of I paid money, I can do what I want now.
Let's jump right into the meat of this conversation. Producers are getting their beats stolen on Beatstars and then resold, right? And like, I didn't realize it was happening to the extent that you said it was, and you're kind of on it, helping producers when they find themselves in that situation, right? I just said a lot of stuff. So let's start at the beginning. What's going on for real? Yeah,
I wanted to backtrack that. You said it's happening on Beatstars. I don't know if it's specifically happening on Beatstars, so I don't want to single us out, but YouTube, anywhere really, that people are uploading beats, social media, like it can happen anywhere. So it's more of a problem of people. Sometimes people even buy the beats, man. That's the other thing. So then that would be a Beatstars thing or whatever platform that you're using, right? But people will either buy beats, steal beats, do whatever it is, and then just either release the song with an artist and put produced by this person's name, even though they didn't produce it.
Yeah.
And they do absolutely nothing. Or what I see a lot of is adding something, maybe a drum roll, and then putting produced by them, leaving out the other people. Because a lot of people don't realize they're actually doing something wrong. And this is kind of the crazy thing, is we'll reach out to them and they just, well, I bought a license. It's like, yeah, but your license is not for you to take something and then re-release it in the sense where you're cutting out everybody and not giving them the proper credit or making sure things are done properly. You're just kind of thinking it's now like, oh, I paid a lease or a license price. I can just do whatever I want with this track. So that's where kind of like the issue is coming in. Now, if they don't have a license, then obviously it's a much different conversation because now it just goes straight to theft. They're stealing. And we have a handful of these. And when I say we, I'm talking specifically Beatstars Publishing and our team and our legal team and members. We have a lot of members that face this issue. And I honestly, man, I'm finding it's a lot of, it definitely happens within like the North America area, but it's definitely a wider spread issue in different countries, especially in like Latin America. I've seen a lot happen in India is a very big market, a lot of different places like that, just to give more clarity. But I mean, it definitely happens everywhere. But it seems like in some of these other countries, it is really due to lack of education and them thinking this license entitles them, if they do buy a license, that they can now kind of like it's theirs. They've already paid the producer, so everything's cool. They kind of forget about everything else, and then and credit's a whole other thing, man. Because you, at the end of the day, it's a human has to do it. So it's not like I can go do it, or even you as the producer can go do it. You're relying on a label, really a distributor at the end of the day, and there's a human changing that information. So, but that's a whole other topic. But yeah, let me know what you think about what I see and what I'm dealing with.
Well, I mean, that we could talk about this forever, but just the notion that, and the narrative, and it's a pervasive narrative among not just producers, but producers certainly, but unsigned artists, which is that once you pay for a beat, you can do whatever you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no obligation. And it's an anti-reality stance. It's an anti-intellectual stance. It's an anti artist stance. It's an I already said anti-reality, right? It's just, it's hilarious, but people will die on that hill. You know, they'll I paid for that beat. No one else gets shit. It's mine. And it's like, bitch, read the fucking paperwork, or at very least consider everything we've ever learned about the music business. Have you ever watched any of them? And these are all very sensationalized, dramatized depictions of the music industry, but haven't you ever watched any of these films like the TLC documentary or like the Straight Outta people very clearly are aware that in popular culture even, and in all the articles coming out in mainstream media, that intellectual property is a thing and it's an ongoing struggle. So if all it took in the music business was for you to pay for something and all of your obligations to the creator of whatever you paid for were erased, there wouldn't be an NWA movie. There wouldn't be a story about Prince or Michael Jackson or the Beatles or Eminem or anyone or Taylor Swift talking about master rights and underlying composition and re-recording music and buying masters back and this and that. Come on, guys. So it's really, really stupid. But I want to hone in on something else that you said.
You mad, bro? You mad? I haven't seen.
No, I'm tired, bro. This is a stupid every single day. I don't understand the double standard where I'll get contacted by a recording artist and rappers, singers. I can't appreciate you enough for using my production, or even just listening to it. Honestly, that means a lot. There is a small contingent of recording artists who embody this narrative that I just talked about, where they'll contact me like, "Yo, I spent $30 on that beat. It's mine." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And then instead of, I kind of like this. I love this about myself and don't like it about myself at the same time, because it wastes so much time. That then, like, I want to be the guy to explain this stuff. I'm like, hey, one, we had a conversation. This is Elise, you got the paperwork. But two, put yourself in the position of the producer here. If a label came to you and was like, hey, $30 for your new single and you don't get anything, and then they release it and make, 100,000 off of it, how are you going to feel about that? Mm-hmm. And it's always, oh, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Okay, cool. I already wasted enough time. But back to what we actually are here to talk about. This black market for beats, this secondary criminal market for stolen beat. Maybe it's not the secondary market, but this kind of like criminal market for stolen beats. Do they tend to be? I have a lot of questions about this, because I'm not seeing it, and you are seeing it. So, are they tagged beats? Are they? What is it on average?
I've seen tagged for sure, released through DSPs out with the tag still in there, lowered. Never really like screaming out, but I can hear it. But majority of the times, no, they have the files, man. So. Whether I think like a lot of them are actually buying licenses. So they again, it comes down to what you just explained, that kind of entitlement of I paid money, I can do what I want now. And they don't really actually understand. I think some of them do get it and they're just trying to run a scam, but others are just really don't know. And that's what makes it even a little bit more frustrating, because like you said, now you got to take the time out of your day and explain it to people, and you want to help. But at what point do people need to help themselves too? So it's a tough thing, man. But yeah, no, it's mainly non-tagged files. So they're either, again, buying a license or probably finding a way. Listen, a lot of producers forget to upload stuff with tags, man. You know what I mean? So
that was going to be another question. What's the best way for producers to prevent this? Is it, obviously it doesn't prevent theft 100% if you tag your beats, right? People will rap over a tag beat. But has that helped? Have you seen that be more effective in combating this kind of thing or preventing it?
I think, having a tag on there for your streaming files, before purchase, obviously is fine. I would definitely recommend it. I think it can cut down. I think it will cut down on a few people or some people, I don't have a number in my mind, but just it will help. So I think anytime you can combat something, you should do it. Or anytime you have an opportunity to combat something or an opportunity to do something good, you should probably do it. So why I tell people to upload their beats to DSPs, because guess what? There are scammers out there and people who are taking beats off of wherever and then uploading them to DSPs. And if you don't do it and you don't ever check or think about that, they're just sitting there collecting all your master royalties. And then if they register for publishing, then they're collecting on that. So I feel like producers and creators have to just be a little bit more mindful of like where their stuff is going. There's great tools like that we have with Beat ID. There's obviously Content ID services, which we're going to have some new stuff coming from Beatstars. There's Muso, which is a great app. And there's so many. I've been talking to so many different companies and people and just innovators of people who are working on stuff to find out where music and where your money is going. So you just have to be more combative. But no, I don't think tagging your beats, though, is going to be like the issue the thing that's going to solve all your issues. You know what I mean? I think you can do it. But if someone wants to steal your stuff, man, this, bro, they're going to steal. They're going to find some way. So even if your tag is on there, not on there, if that is your original composition and that's yours, you have grounds to stand on. Just remember that. They can tell you all sorts of things, because we've had instances where people will do this and the song will end up being huge, 100 million streams, wherever it is, in France or somewhere. And they'll say, no, we bought this license, like, take a hike. We still have power. There's DMCA. There's a lot of things that you can do. But we always approach these situations as we're trying to keep them positive. Hey, this is why it's wrong. If you didn't know it, this is how we need to fix it. And if not, unfortunately, this is what's going to happen. But we look at this as a great opportunity for us to collab more. You guys got a lot of great stuff going on. We have a great roster. Let's figure it out. We've actually saved and helped and grown relationships that way through the education. Then there's just the people who don't care, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And then those are the ones that are like, you have to be a little bit more firm with. This needs to be done by this date. If not, we're taking everything down. They don't bite, everything comes down, because you have to follow it through when you use that tactic.
Yeah, and then
if not, then you're just going to be the boy who cried wolf, right? Or whatever that story is. So, but yeah, that's my best advice. It's like a tag is not going to save you at the end of the day. You being self-aware and alert of what's going on around you and how the business is. I actually asked a question, man. I'll raise this question to you and your members, followers, fans, whatever we want to call them, customers, is if you're playing a game and you don't have the instructions or the rules to the game, how would you play that game, right? And I think it's a very good analogy to look into of what the music industry is. This is a game that was set up by whoever set it up, and they dictate the rules and how things happen. So things are always changing within the music industry. True, with Spotify saying you're not getting paid if you hit 1,000 streams. If you're not up to this, you don't have to be an expert. Let me make that clear. But if you're not at least aware of what's going on and how some of these things are moving in the game, how do you expect to ever win that game? You might get lucky, and a lot of people have, but there's a lot of people that just don't even understand the rules on how to maneuver the game. Once you understand the game, dude, then you can start manipulating it and maneuvering in a way that's beneficial to you. And I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, don't get me started on that. This is like, you're just coming on here to incite and elicit a response from me, because I swear that's another conversation where people, it's the people that say beat selling is dead, or the industry is rigged. No one can succeed. You need to be selling your soul. You need to be selling your body. You need to be doing this and that. And it's like, all right, what do you know about the music business? And they know nothing. So again, it's like it's like not understanding how to play football, not training, not studying the game, trying to go out on the field, people looking at you crazy, and then you being like, the game's rigged.
Yeah.
You've done nothing to put yourself in the game. So how is the game rigged? Just because you can't play right now, all you would have to do is take some time to show that you're serious about the game.
Yep.
So that's forever frustrating. I mean, I think the Russ fallacy brings out the stupidity of this narrative, because I see so many people say, "Oh, I did what Russ did. Why am I not famous?" And it's like, but you didn't. Like, you really didn't.
Oh man, it's I don't know, man. You don't need to be an expert. I think sometimes people, when I talk to them about this type of stuff, they're just like, "Oh, but you've been doing this for so long and this and that," and I don't even think I'm an expert, right? And you don't have to be. It's just know enough of like the basic rules of the game and like what is to be accomplished and how you can win it, because there's multiple ways as a producer. You know what I mean? There's selling beats online. There's in studio sessions. There's sending packs out, which is a big luck of the draw most of the times. There's putting your beats on DSPs. There's knowing about publishing in a sense that you at least understand who collects what and the different sides. If you don't know that there's two sides to every song, like, start there. Like, you should understand these basic things. And if you don't, I'm sorry. You're just doing a huge disservice. And this is why the music industry is in the state it's in, because it's run and controlled by a few people who paint the narrative of how things are, and it gets trickled down. And then, your OG teaches this person and this person teaches this person. And now you have effect of people being taught the wrong way, and then it becomes what it is. That's my main thing, man.
Oh yeah.
It's teaching people back through, like, there's other options, and you could do this and you could do that, and it's definitely happening. There's a lot of people doing a great job at it. Obviously, you being one, and there's a lot of other people. But it's only going to start when people actually fully commit themselves to say, listen, you know what? Like, there are other ways of doing this. I don't have to just hop in this long ass co-publishing deal for 6 years, you know, because people say that's what I should do when I have a big record. Like, no, like, dude, if you want to own all your stuff and move around and do whatever you want and be in a short-term deal, like, you can do an admin deal and own all your shit and you don't have to pay anybody back. Like, just know the options. I'm not saying you have to listen to everything I say, but just understand that you have options and how to maneuver through it and what the best decision is.
Well, you bring up another big problem, which is that you have a lot of people out there positioning themselves and presenting themselves as music business experts, and they're giving terrible information. I mean, you know, if someone had a home improvement channel on YouTube, right, and they said, all right, here's a video, how to paint your house. First of all, paint your house the color you want it, then remove all that paint, wait a week, and then repaint it the same color. You'd be like, no, that's not right. But I saw a video where there was a guy saying, register all your beats with a PRO before you drop them. And then when an artist records a song, re-register them for that song. And I'm like, you just presented a case against what you're saying. If you have to do it twice, just do it once. You know what I mean? And I made a video talking about that and I got backlash. You know what I mean? So do you feel like the second you start giving out the right information, you're going to get more backlash? It almost feels like there's like this anti-knowledge impulse in the music world.
Yeah, it's also, I think, our personalities, Payne. I think we're similar in the same sense. In some matters, we're obviously.
Yeah, we rub people the wrong way when we say the truth. It's weird.
Because sometimes I think it's we deal with the same things over and over again and every day, and we're human, and I think we can get irritable or frustrated, and we still mean well, but sometimes it comes off the wrong way. And I'm fine with that.
We should wear like goofy hats or something.
Yeah, something. But dude, no, I can remember a guy who actually was friends with some people that I knew, some people you may actually know. And has done some things, and I made a post about something, and he said, "No, dude, you don't know what you're talking about." And I tried it, basically breaking it down, but he didn't realize there was mechanical royalties still to be collected. He was getting his masters, he was getting, collecting from his PRO. He even, I think, knew about Sound Exchange, which is obviously on the master side, like different things. But like when I tried to explain to him that I even pulled his catalog up. He was coming at me pretty hard, Pauls. Like he basically was saying, like, you don't know what you're talking about. This is BS. This is that. He just wouldn't listen to me. And guess what? He was wrong. And not that I'm saying I'm right all the time, but when I know I'm right about something, I'm not going to just roll over. I let it go. I'm not going to argue with people forever either. But eventually he's like, oh, so you're saying like I'm not getting this money, right? I'm like, exactly. This is what I'm trying to put. Okay. So I offered help too and never heard back. So I think there was a little bit of an embarrassment of, I swore this dude was capping and was just hyping people up. But then he realized he was wrong. So it's a lot of that, man. And I think it's just because I came across in the matter of telling people in my post, like, yo, if you're doing this, it's wrong. And he didn't like that because guess what? He was doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
It's
and
hard to say, yo, right. I got taken advantage of, or yo, I fucked up. I'm not actually making the money I'm supposed to be making. Dude, do you really want to go out and admit that to people? Me, I don't care because people are going to learn through my mistakes. I'm cool with that. Experience is great. Don't get me wrong. But I think that's another part. It's a pride thing, man. It's a oh, I don't want to say I did this or I got screwed over or but dude, it's like if you really want to help people, that's how you help, man. You teach them through your faults and how you screwed up. That's how I look at it, at least. So
yeah. So okay, back to Beats. I just want to be totally clear. Obviously, we can't speak. I've only used Beatstars. You work for Beatstars. Mm-hmm. You're fully transparent. I imagine this is the same case for other beat selling platforms, but based on what we know, with the default Beatstars agreements, when someone buys a beat, can they legally resell it?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. Can't you? We actually had a major problem with something like this where it ended up turning into a major placement where somebody bought a beat off of Beatstars and then tried to sell it to the artist and tried to hold the producer hostage to an extent.
Oh my God.
Very interesting situation. I won't get into it legally because it could get messy, but I'm just telling you this. No. And that's what really, at the end of the day, saved that and have saved a lot of people because people think they can come on there, even exclusively, dude. Doesn't even matter if it's the lease. You're not buying it out. Now, a buyout, is a whole other conversation where you're giving up everything. I mean, shit, you can put whatever you want in the contract, right? And that's what I tell people too. It's actually what I tell people on my team. Like, oh, this agreement, the title says this. And it's like, at the end of the day, don't even worry about the title. because it could say non-exclusive, and then everything in the agreements is an exclusive agreement. You know what I mean? So it's what's inside the agreement that makes sense. So to summarize it up, no, dude, that can't happen. You can't go buy a V, especially not exclusively, because it's not exclusive. Right off the bat, they still own it. But even you buy an exclusive, that still doesn't give you the right to go out and then go sell it to somebody else. That's not how it works, man.